Knocking off the dirt is an important spiritual discipline. You got to knock off your dirt. Hey, I'm Brian. Welcome to my garage Bible study. I am deep into the restoration and actually exploration of this 1978 Jeep CJ7, and I keep thinking of things as I'm working on it that relate to the Bible. Interesting. I'm in a garage. I have my Bible. So let's do a garage Bible study right here. In the book of Matthew, chapter 10, we're going to look at this today. Matthew, before we get we're going to get dirty today. At least I'm going to get dirty. We'll see if you do or not, but we're going to get dirty. Here's what Jesus says. He has his followers, and he sends them out. He says, look, I don't want you to just be watching me. Christianity is not a spectator sport. I want you to do what I do. You've been watching me for a while. I've been coaching you and teaching you. Now you need to go out on your own. Many of us don't grow spiritually because we keep consuming more information. And we keep thinking, I need another sermon. I need another hot worship song. Sermons and hot worship songs are fine. But those prepare us to do what God wants us to do, which is go out and not just sit in a church service or listen to a great Spotify worship list in our car. We get this from Jesus. Jesus chapter 10 says this. The 12 Jesus sent out, instructing them, go nowhere among the Gentiles and enter the town of the Samaritans, and enter no town of the Samaritans. Why is that? It's because Jesus, when he first came, his focus was on his fellow kinsmen, his countrymen, Jews. So he's very, very focused. Eventually, it's going to spread out to all people like me, who is a Gentile. But Jesus is very clear, I want you to have this narrow focus. We're first going to go to the Jews. And then he says this, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel and proclaim as you go, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Then he gives them like basic things that you and I should be doing all the time. I want you to heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse lepers, cast out demons. You received without paying, so give without paying. So basic stuff. Just go do some miracles. No problem. And you've seen that I have blessed you. I've given you things. Now I want you to give people without receiving things. You know, it's interesting. I'm getting ready for sign-ups of Man Camp. If you're a man watching this here in the garage, hey, I got a thing for you. I'd love to hang out with you, camp with you at Man Camp. It's a big, big deal. And one of the things we do for Man Camp is we actually charge for it. It's really, read this, go, wait a minute, are we breaking the Bible because we're doing stuff without charging? Or we're doing things and charging for them? That is an appropriate question to ask. There are many churches and people who are not into the gift of generosity. Everything is quid pro quo. We do offset our costs with Man Camp. We do. There's a payment. We offset our costs on Man Camp. And we're like a break even every year. We're not doing this to make money. Jesus doesn't want us doing ministry to make money. If we do make money, like I'm a pastor, I'm actually getting paid to do this right now. God bless America. It's wonderful. That's one thing. But I shouldn't be doing this to make money. In fact, if I'm out not doing things Jesus wants me to do because it's not associated with my paycheck, then I know I've got a spiritual outage. He wants to be very clear with his disciples about this. And here it goes. Keeps continuing. Acquire no gold or silver or copper for your belts, no bag for your journey, or 2 tunics, or sandals, or staff, for the laborer deserves his food. Does this mean that you and I right now, we can't have an extra set of shoes, we can't have a backpack? No, it doesn't mean that. It does mean that we should be asking ourselves, are the number of my possessions keeping me from following God the way I should be following Him? That's an appropriate talk, but these guys are on a very strict and clear mission. You got to travel light, and therefore, for your mission, you got to be really stripped down. And whatever town or village you enter, find out who is worthy of it, and stay there until you depart. As you enter the house, greet it. And if the house is worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it's not worthy, let your peace return to you. We should have a sense of peace that goes around us. You know, speaking of dirt, remember the old Peanuts cartoon? You had Pigpen. Pigpen would kind of walk around. He just had this like cloud of dirt that was around him. We should look like Pigpen, except the cloud shouldn't be dirt. It should be peace. Where we are, there should be more smiles because we're leading the parade of smiles. Where we are, there should be more compliments and encouragement because we're leading the compliments and encouragement. And so our peace, that's our peace, should be extending out. And if we find we're with a group of people that really isn't interested in that demeanor at all, okay, well then remove it. Go on to somebody else who wants that kind of fruit. Let's keep going. And if anyone will not receive you or listen to your words, shake off the dust from your feet when you leave that house or town. Truly I tell you, it will be more bearable in the day of judgment for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah than for that town. So leave and then shake off the dust. I've been thinking about this a lot because I got this frame. I have it stripped down to the frame, and I've been going through and cleaning it up. I think maybe next episode we'll talk about whether or not this frame is salvageable. That's actually next episode. But right now, to figure out if it's salvageable or not, I'm just knocking off all of the dirt. So I'm going to show you what I've been doing here. Got my little safety glasses. Yes. And I have my grinder. So what I've been doing is going down and knocking off the decades and decades of dirt and scaling, rust all over the thing to find out what condition it's in. And if it's in good condition, I got to have it all stripped off to paint it. And so this right here, my rear differential, some people refer to as the pumpkin ball. I'm going to strip this off. I'll show you kind of some of the stuff I've been doing. Let's have some fun. And by the way, my brake line is still on here. That would normally be off. I should have taken it off. It's all going to be replaced anyway. So if I nick it, that's fine. Everything is being replaced. So if I nick this brake line, no big deal. It's empty of fluid anyway. So anyway, let's knock some dirt off. That's not bad. All right. Oh, that's fascinating. So this has a stamping on it that tells me, I have to research this, it tells me either what gearing I have in here or what the serial number original of this rear differential is. I have to do that. That's got to research that. Let's just do a little bit more here. All right, good news is, this looks pretty good. This is very thick metal, thick steel, cast iron, whatever it is. That can be saved. That's good stuff. But I don't know if it's gonna be saved until I actually knock the dirt off of it. As I'm doing this on this Jeep, I'm thinking about what Jesus told his followers. Sometimes when you're around certain people, they just don't want to hear what you have to say. They don't want you to be full of joy and full of peace. They're not actually open at all to who Jesus is, to who God is, to his principles and thoughts and ideas. And when I say not open at all, you can't just talk about God one time and people reject you and then you're done with them. But over time, if you're like not getting anywhere, you got to leave. You got to shake the dust off your feet. And what he means by that is when you leave the place, you shake off all remnants of that place because you don't want to feel this sense of rejection that you carry around with you forever. Like that place rejected me and their place rejected the gospel that I was carrying. No, you gotta shake it off. Just go, hey, that was that group of people. Just shake it off. Now it's interesting. It is a Bible study. I really don't want to talk about the last verse, but it is there. Jesus says, when we reject who Jesus is, and someone has brought us that peace, someone has brought us that information, and we reject a very clear understanding of who it is, judgment will be worse for you than for somebody else. So we're judged according to what we know, or even what we could have known. The person who lives in the world someplace where there isn't an understanding of who Jesus is, there isn't a life-giving church down the street, there isn't a friend that actually articulates to them who Jesus is and how he operates, how God views them and how he deals with them in the afterlife and eternity is entirely different. I don't know exactly what he does with them, but I know it's different according to Jesus than what he does with somebody who has heard who Jesus is, who's seen miracles even. And that's why he says Sodom and Gomorrah, they didn't have the understanding of Jesus and forgiveness and all that stuff, and they're going to be judged very, very harshly for all the things that were happening down in back in those times. But when someone does have understandings of the grace of God and the forgiveness of God that surpasses Sodom and Gomorrah, wow, bad news. I'm actually, in some ways, making your future greater while you turn into Garage Bible Study, and maybe making your future a little more difficult because I'm giving you knowledge and understanding that you should be acting on. And when we don't receive it or act on it, it says something bad about us. Not good. So, hey, shake the dirt off, all right? Shake the dirt off. If someone's rejected you in the past, someone doesn't like who you are, you've got failures sticking all over you, you got globs of rust that's clogged on you, you've got years of inactivity, hey, shake the dust off. This thing has had years of inactivities. I've been doing it. I'm shaking off the dust so it can move. Shake off your dust, your dirt, your rust, your rejection, all the pain of the past. Shake it off. Get over it. Get over it. Move on. And go into the future of peace that God wants you to be in, to people God wants you to go to. Hey, that's all I got here in my Garage Bible Study. If you're a man, sign up for Man Camp.